Number 5 is give a free consultation or a sample. Now this is such an old marketing idea, but it's amazing how few people do it. Is there a gentleman here who's got the mail order hair company for frizzy hair? Yeah, at the back there. Obviously not a service that I use myself hugely, but we were chatting earlier on, and he was saying about, you know, sometimes people are a bit reserved about ordering things on the internet, products like that, and I was saying a great thing to do in his case would be to do some kind of a sample so people could try it out for themselves and use that product for a little while. And if people can try something for nothing, they like it, then they'll come back and buy some more of it. I had a client who does an aloe vera product. One of the biggest successes that he had in growing that business was giving small samples to people so they could try it out. Imagine, I'm not going to be obsessed with hairdressing, but imagine you're a hairdresser and you could give away a free haircut to people. You gave people a haircut. Now, there's lots of things you could do to persuade people to come into your hairdressing salon, isn't there? You know, you could tempt them with some nice cake, or you could hand out leaflets. Well, there's lots of things you can do to get them to come through the door. But if you offered them a free haircut, a lot of the resistance that is there has gone, isn't it? How much does a free haircut cost you? You just set up in business as a hairdresser. How much does it cost you to cut somebody's hair? Nothing is the answer. Nothing. Doesn't really cost a little bit of time, cost you a little bit of wear on the metal of the scissors, but it's pretty negligible really. But once you've got them in there and you've done a lovely haircut and they're really pleased, oh, what a lovely haircut, thank you very much, that's very nice. And the next thing you say is, okay, when will I book you in for your next haircut? Will I book you in for 6 weeks' time? You've possibly captured a new customer. Imagine you offered a free haircut and half the people agreed to come back in 6 weeks' time. Imagine how many new customers you could get just for giving away something that cost you nothing, but was enough to get people through the door the first time. And that startup businesses, believe me, that's one of the hardest things you'll do, is to get people through the door the first time. And it doesn't get any easier the longer you're in business. But those first customers are so valuable and so important. And people go about it in really difficult ways, but actually, by giving something away, it's not that bad. Sixth thing, I'll go through these quite quickly. Sixth thing is creating joint ventures, okay? So you're a new business, you don't have many customers in your database, but you've got a few. And you found another company who sells to the sort of people that you want to sell to. So say, for example, you find a printer, a local printer, who happens to sell to lots of garages. They specialise in printing for garages. And you do a service, a respray service for cars that you sell to garages. There's a synergy there, but there's no competition there, is there? So you could go to that printer and say, look, why don't we do a joint marketing campaign? You send out a letter to your customer saying that you've come across the service that I do. I'll do this service half price or at a special rate or whatever. They're giving something extra, some added value to their customers because their customers, the garages, can make some money on the service this person is offering. This person can piggyback onto the goodwill and faith that this person has already got from his existing customers. The net result can be very, very impressive, because if he was writing to these people completely cold, chances are they'd go, I don't know who this person is. But effectively, they're coming endorsed by somebody that they're already working with. So you can do it, once you've been in business a little while, you can do it the other way around, and you can write to your customers and recommend somebody else. But at the beginning stages, is there somebody who is non-competitive but has a similar client base to the type of people that you're wanting to attract? It's worth thinking about, because if you're able to do that, that can short circuit very quickly the number of customers that you've got starting with your business. Number 7, most people, when they do their marketing, they focus on the name of their company and how brilliant they are and all these things that people don't give a monkeys about. If you focus your marketing activity on the benefits that you are able to deliver to customers, you will completely transform the response rates that you are able to generate. So forget about, when you were formed, or putting the name of your business at the top of the advert. You see most adverts in local newspapers, they will put the name of their business at the top of the advert. That's completely the wrong way to go about it. The way to go about it is having a benefit-led headline at the top of your advert. But forget about what you do, think about how you can help your customers or your potential customers, and make that the focus of all of your marketing activity. So how can you help people? What problems do your customers have? Well, in my case, They do marketing campaigns that don't work, for example. That would be something that they do. So how could I help them? Well, I can do their marketing, but not everyone's ready for me to do their marketing. So what I can do is I can write books on it, or I can do a CD on it, or I can do a free report I can give to people which outlines the main problems that they might have. Or I can produce a newsletter which covers those problems. Now that's helping people and helping them avoid common mistakes and giving them ideas or doing this talk. It's about helping potential customers. And some of them, most of them, will listen to that information and go, thank you very much, that's very nice, I'll go and do that myself, and that's fine. But some people will then go, actually, that is good, and I haven't got the time, or I'm not very good at doing this, I'll ask Alistair and see if he can help me out. And that's the way that I get most of my business, and that's how I would recommend you get most of your business. Think about how you can help your potential customers and put all your efforts into helping them. Don't worry about selling. Just worry about helping them and making their lives easier and improving things for them. And you will find by doing that, you'll get plenty of inquiries, you'll get plenty of new business. Eighth thing, we've kind of covered this slightly when I was talking about knowing your market and branding. But the biggest mistake that most people do, particularly startups, is people say, oh, who do you sell to? If you're a handyman, who do you sell to? Oh, I'll sell to anybody. Anybody at all, it's fine, I can do it for anybody at all. And what you find is your energy is dissipated so widely against all these different sectors, and you're not seen as being a specialist. I did some work for a telecoms company, and they specialised in doctors' surgeries. That was their little niche area. Now you think, well, that's a bit odd, because there's only 6,000 doctor surgeries or whatever in the whole country. That's quite a difficult market. Why not just sell your phone system to anybody? Because the phone system that they sold could be sold to literally anybody. But by specialising in doctor surgeries, they worked out the particular problems, last point, that doctors had, what things they had to overcome when they were dealing with doctors, how to get past receptionists, how to make the argument that would win a case for the partners that would make them interested in it. And as a result, they became one of the fastest growing telecoms companies in the UK. They were in the Sunday Times fastest growing companies list. I think they were number 7. Not because they were going and trying to sell stuff to everybody, but they were specialising in this one area, and they put all their effort into doing that. It's a bit like light, isn't it? You've got light, it's diffused across the room, it's all very nice, but if you concentrated it into a laser, it'll punch a hole through the wall. So focus on a sector, find a sector that's growing, you should add that, find a sector that's growing, that's doing well, that you're interested in, and put your efforts into that. 9th thing, so many people in marketing get obsessed with the detail. They want to tell them everything about their product and service, particularly engineering companies, I find, do this. They go into all the nth degree about every single thing that it does, but they forget what gets people interested. And if you think about a sausage, frankly, you don't want to know too much information about what's in that sausage, do you? But what will sell it to you is the smell, is the sizzle and the smell as you're walking past it. Feel like a sausage sandwich. You don't need to know what's in that sausage. You just need to know that it's going to taste nice and it's got a nice smell. So don't forget that. Don't forget about your marketing. You don't need to explain every single thing in your advert. Have a headline, have something that's going to get their information, get their attention, and get them to want to go onto your website or pick up the phone and call and find out more. Don't get obsessed about putting every single thing into some very small advert. 10th thing, particularly in the early days when you're setting up in business, you are really passionate about your product. You're really passionate about the company and the service that you deliver. And you know that you can do a great job, right? But nobody else does. And one of the best ways of converting inquiries into sales is to think about who has used your service or who has used your product in the past, what did they like about it, and write a case study about it or get a testimonial from customers. Set up a system for every time, particularly in the early stages, where every customer who uses you, ask them some questions. What did you like about it? Why did you decide to use us? Who have you tried before? Why did you stop using them? Why did you start using us instead? And they'll tell a story about the benefits that they got from using you. And what you'll find is a couple of things. One, it's very good at the conversion process. So you can get people coming into the business, they may be interested in using you, but they're not sure whether to use you or stay with who they're with. Unless they've got a strong reason why they should switch over, they might stay who they're with. But if you give them a strong enough testimonial from somebody else saying, well, I'd been with my previous accountant for 20 years, they were okay, but I didn't really want to move, but I heard about M&P accountants and they seemed to do an excellent job and they were very effective at the way they did this, and they always came back to me and da-da-da, and I'm so glad, 12 months later, I'm delighted that I moved. It makes an interesting little story, and you're not saying that to people because it would sound arrogant if you said it, but if somebody else says it on your behalf and they're talking about your business, then it's much more convincing, it's much more impressive. So don't take my word for it. This is what some of our other customers have said. This is what some of our other customers have found. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate it's been a very hot room today, so thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.